So I was saying, part of the Trade Commissioner Service based in Bangalore, what I'm going to talk about is opportunities for firms in India to scale into Canada, be it a startup or an SME or a much larger corporation. Quick overview, we've got 8 contact points based around the country, Bangalore, Chennai, Chandika, and the High Commission in Delhi. Next one. A quick overview of the kind of relationship Canada has with India. My role is to oversee foreign direct investment coming into India and foreign direct investment leaving India into Canada. These are some of the, These are some of the major Canadian companies that are investing in India. We've got a lot of large pension funds putting money into India. Only last week, CDPQ invested 2,400 crores in 7 road infrastructure projects. So there's a real excitement in Canada of the potential that India has as we position ourselves for a $5 trillion economy. You can go to the next one. There are also a number of Indian firms who found success in Canada through a variety of ways. These are some of the larger names like Tech Mahindra, Tata Communications, Infosys, and Wipro, who see Canada as a gateway to North America. Next one. And Canada is also very famous for artificial intelligence. We've got a very vibrant AI focus and AI ecosystem. Some familiar names here, Richard Sutton, Geoffrey Hinton, which you might have heard of before. And to quickly tell you about the Canadian ecosystem, there are hubs across Canada based in Ottawa, Vancouver, Toronto. Each hub has over 650 startups, over 60 investor groups, and very welcoming of overseas startup firms such as yourself, overseas entrepreneurs. And Canada is also amongst the top 5 globally for welcoming entrepreneurs and for offering a very strong ecosystem. And this is kind of an oversight of the sectors that we look for. I've already met quite a few entrepreneurs here this morning who represent, aerospace and infra, forestry, clean technology. Next one. And the reason I'm here today is really to present the Canadian Startup Visa Program. I'm not going to get into too many details, but I'm available after, and you can always contact me. I've got a few flyers. But to go to the next slide, the Canadian Startup Visa Program is a very unique program that invites foreign entrepreneurs to come and explore the Canadian market, take advantage of the Canadian ecosystem, and quite possibly work with either incubators, or if you need funding, work with angel investors or venture capitalists. There are quite a few details on the program in particular, but the Startup Visa Program is a great opportunity for you to scale your business in Canada, to access the North American market, the European market through the free trade agreement. And, is something that we were very keen, and we thank Satish in the talk, that we were briefly able to talk about Canada, talk about this particular Startup Visa Program. And rather than me tell you about it, we've actually got a friend of mine, Ramesh, who's going to come up next, who's been able to use Canada and the Startup Visa Program very successfully. So I'll be very brief. Thank you very much for listening to me. If you'd like more details, please connect with me after, and I'll let Ramesh come and tell you some more. Thank you.
Been here actually to talk about that, what I did in my career, and how I landed up with Canada and what I did in Canada, and where a lot of entrepreneurs are looking out here to explore the international markets. So that's what I'm going to talk about it. Like our friend said, yeah, I'm actually qualified for seed funding. I'm from IAC and IAM plus. I also was an entrepreneur. This is my 3rd company. I did a 2 successful exit a couple of years back. And then I was also in corporate for about 19 years. So I completed my 24th year of IT experience last month, August 22nd. Right? So it was a long journey. So I just wanted to talk to you regarding that, what we did in terms of the journey of a company. So let me first explain what is the company I represent. So the company is called Tophyre. It's basically an assessment platform. So like everybody says, I used a couple of words to the investor. Like I used AI, ML, and then cognitive, and a lot of things I used. And hence, a company called Cognizant Technology Solution came and invested on us. Okay, so I think that is a real thing. But now, I don't think now investors are looking that word anymore. It's most abused word everywhere, right? So the investors are a little bit more smarter now than earlier. So I used it when it actually just buzzwords or just come out, and I got an investment. So we released our product more than a year back, and we got a lot of customers. A lot of customers like a Sony, Cargill. A lot of customer uses our product, and then we end up with the usual scenario in India, right? Go to a company like IBM. They said that can I use it for 6 months for free? And then I try, and then, well, if it works, then we will go for subscriptions and this and that. So we went and hit with a lot of companies, including EY. I think my colleague was here, he was talking about, right? So a lot of companies, we went there, and we did this as a pilot in India, and we got a very good customers here. And we were into that point where, how we will scale it. And our idea was, we wanted to get into the North American market because I was in North America market for about 15 years. So I wanted to do that over there in North America market. So I was exploring a lot of different opportunities that how we get into the market, how we do scale into the market, where the people respects the technologies and they pay for the technology uses. That's how I end up with doing a research. I figured it out. Why can't Canada? Because all other countries like Europe and US market, it's already flooded with a lot of technology companies and lot of companies and a lot of small-time companies. Why don't you look out for some places where it will give me an opportunity to explore more? I mean, you will be a part of the growth, right? Rather than going and fighting with your competitor, why can't you be in a part of the growth? So that's what I end up with Canada. And I landed in, so we after did a lot of researches, we landed with Alberta. We landed with a place called Calgary. Beautiful place to live. Very beautiful place to live. It's one of the cleanest place in the earth. That's what they call it as. Okay, their pollution is almost to zero. Okay, so it's very good, and we landed with that. Can you go further? So in Canada, when we landed with Canada, a lot of people here wanted to scale up that product into the global market, right? So where I'm going to pitch about it, like how we did it, right? So in Tophyre, we found out the way that go to a place of hub where you will have a lot of great trade unions can help us. Okay, that's what we end up with Canada, where Canada have a free trade zone for about 17 countries, right? You can do the trade with the 17 countries for free, right? That's how we landed with Canada. In Canada, when we looked at it, Calgary is one of the place where we chosen because a lot of different stuffs, right? So one of the thing, if you look at it, Canada as a market, it's completely trust-based economy. Everything will happen over the coffee. Okay, so what I understood is, the major difference between where we are here and there is like, one of the first difference what I found is, we went and signed up with the customer. So he said that, okay, in India, 6 months, 1 year is what the contract used to write. So I went up with saying that, okay, let's try for 6 months or, okay, 1 year. So we went with the 1 year contracts. So they came and said that 1 year, we can't even test your product. Why can't we write 5 years contract? I said, are you sure? Are you really sure 5 years? So that's the way it is. So if they trust on you, then they never go out of you. And my friends, they had they had couple of conversation with that companies. They saying that Canadian companies, they found this product is not working, but they felt, emotionally they felt, I don't want to cut the contract now. Okay, we will try for next couple of more months. Then they said that, yeah, what is couple of more months? It's a 2 months. They said that, no, it's okay, we'll try for 1 more year. All right, so that's the kind of things what I felt. It's a trust-based economy. If you perform that, you can actually do better job on there. We did that and it worked out. So we got a lot of customers over there already within a year's time. And then easy access to the executives. There is a company called TELUS over there. And there is a practice where I went every Friday. There is a meetup for 1 hour. So one day I went and sat in one of the places to meet up and coffee and etc. So I found one person. He was just sitting and looking for somebody to come and talk to him. So I went and talked to him, and I had an interactions and etc. etc. And finally I asked that, okay, what do you do? Yeah, sorry that I interacted with so many things and I explained about my things and what you do. He said that, yeah, I am a chief operating officer of TELUS, okay, which is close to around $28 billion company. So there is a culture that, give up culture, where the people used to come and they wanted to help the community rather than just putting everything inside. So they wanted to do for community. So accessing to the executives is very, very good over there. And government did supported us by giving a lot of grants. It's a juicy word every entrepreneurs wanted to hear, right? So if you have a good product and if you have some research on unbuilt on that, you're very sure that you will get a lot of grants from the government. Okay, but the grants are not like how we get in India, where you will get the money funding first and then burn it. It is not like that. It is more like a culture that, okay, you burn first, you put your money from your pocket, and then come and climb back, and I will give you 75% to you. So it is a way of showing and then getting the money. Can you go for next? Keep going. I'll be talking all the time. Yeah, that's it. All right, so this is what I'm saying, the Executive Connect. If you look at everybody over here is the ministers of a different province. Okay, within 4 months of time, I could able to access everybody. And have you ever known that in India that half an hour appointment you will get it to talk to the chief minister? Never been. I tried, in fact, I grew up from the government organization. My dad was the collector of Nilgiris for about 25 years. I don't even get an appointment with him in his office. Okay, so that's a kind of culture here. But there, half an hour I just spoke to them, and they given the directions which directions you wanted to go. And they directed me, they recommended me to get the funding. And then I went and presented to different government organizations for that. And because of that, CBI of Calgary, Central Bureau of Investigation is our client. So we got that as a client. So their promoting is very high and good, and which really helped us in order to scale it up. Because these are all the things where you can actually show into India market and US market and all, right? Where you start scaling your operations. All right, so that's what it is. Go further. All right, so I've been in the place, it's called Calgary, as I mentioned. So Stampede is one of the function, one of the event over there. It is a world famous, they call it as one of the best program in the earth. What I understood is the difference on, here also in Kerala, Puram, right? Puram we'll have it. What all I will do, we'll go and see a lot of elephants and pray the God, and we will enjoy and we'll buy stuffs and etc. But what happened in the Stampede is, this 5 days, everything was there. There was an investment forum. They did around $38 million investment. And I was shocked. We were actually going there when you're talking to somebody, if an investor talking and getting into that. So there is an investment happen. There is a lot of research and things. We got tied up with a company called, sorry, my time is over. I'm taking 1 more minute. Okay. So we got a connection with the University of Calgary, where we tied up with that in Stampede in 3 days, where they helped us to do the research in the personality assessments. So we do the personality assessments. So they helped us and they tied up with that. And fifth day, they actually given the contact saying that there is an agreement between University of Calgary and Tophyre, something like that. So opportunities are there, the places are there. So if you or any of the startups wanted to be a global, India is the place, guys. There is a volume, right? But if you wanted to wanted to go into the get into the global level, Canada is the place where you can actually sit. You don't find a big, huge crowd over there, but you can sit over there and you can do the trade easily to the different countries. That's how we actually scaled it up. So we could able to scale sitting over there. We could able to scale into U.S. market and Canada market now. Thanks to all these organizations and startup missions, and they all helped us in order to get into this. And if any of them needed help on understanding that what needs to be done in order to scale your company and what are the possibilities are there and how to get in over there, what is an SUV program, which I gone through already, you can actually come to me. I can definitely help you on that. All right, so by saying that, thank you very much once again, and thanks for giving an opportunity in my homeland. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Ramesh. Would you like to talk more about your startup and your journey as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, journey like I don't know. I had some inbuilt entrepreneur capacity. I didn't aware of that when I studying itself. So I built my first company in 1996, and I sold that company into Polaris Inc. Okay, and everything happened in my life is just in a flight. Everything happened in my life in a flight. I got my first job when I went to, given the interview, I was actually going into Hyderabad to give an interview for Satyam Computers. And that time it was Satyam, right? And on the way I just met, on the way I met one senior leader from ITC Limited. And he was asking a lot of things. I was talking and enjoying and all. By the time when he come out, hey, why don't you come to ILTD, which is Indian Tobacco Division, Leaf Division, tomorrow after your Satyam Computers interview done. Yeah, I done that interview and went there. I got a job in ILTD. They given more money than Satyam. And I joined there. That's how my entrepreneurship started. And then even I got into Texas and Silicon Valley, but I was so patriotic at the time. I don't wanted to go from India and etc. I didn't join. I went in with the ITD, Indian Tobacco. That's how I started. And then various companies I worked with, Cognizant Technology Solutions, and I worked with McKinsey in US. And I worked with John Deere Tractors, and I worked with the Fujitsu Consulting, and I was the head of Fujitsu Consulting US and etc. So I performed various roles. And then when my first company, my manager helped me to identify my entrepreneurship inside. He said that, hey, 98 time, Java, if you know JAVA, everybody will get a job, right? And that is the time was there. So he said that, why don't you build some company and help me itself to get the resources. So that's how I started thinking, and then I organized all my Malayali friends, right? All my friends, and 90% are from Kerala, all from Poolakkil, Trichy, Trivandrum, all those things. And everybody had the communication issues, but I knew that they are very, very good in technology. So I used to come from office and train them in technologies in Java. And I built around 27 people team. In 1.5 years, 2 years, I never sleep, and I got a lot of pressure from my parents. 1.5 year, 2 years time, again, another flight. I was going through the flight. I didn't aware of that the CEO of Polaris Inc. sitting nearby me, and I've been kept on talking. It ended up with a acquisition. So I just sold my company. So I sold my company very nicely without that. And that time, I didn't even aware of that, what is service tax and what is private limited and anything. It was just built. And I sold that company. So then I started understanding, okay, these are the things that has to be done. Is it? Okay, let me prepare now, backward, right? So I prepared, and then being in a corporate world, being a consulting advisor, board advisor, even that is my passion. Today also I'm doing it. I'm a board advisor for this one, what is that, BrahMos missiles, Brahmaputra and Moscow rivers, right? BrahMos missiles. When our Narendra Modi Saab, took out that took out that funding from DRDO to BrahMos, and they asked them to do the PNL for themselves. They assigned me as a person to, do that. So I'm doing that continually for last 5 years. And I'm doing for a couple of companies in the Middle East, I'm doing board advisory services to them on various capacity. And then, one point of time, I started again, after 15, 16 years in the corporate, again, I thought, okay, what I'm doing? Let me start company again. So that's how I started my company. So currently, I'm running 2 companies. One company is a pure service-based company where we do a lot of SAP works. Again, we work with a lot of customers. In Kerala, we work with Malayalam Manorama, here the Cochin Pro Trust, and different company we work with. And then another company is what the Tophyre. Somebody mentioning is Tophyre. It is not Tophyre. It is a top hire. So when you look out for hire, H-I-R-E, we didn't get H-I-R-E, so we made it as a Y, hire. Top hire. So that's how we landed with the top hire, thinking that there are a lot of resumes, a lot of people is going to, identifying the cream of a person is going to be a tough all the time. Right, so how do we arrive at with the solutions where we will identify the cream? So that's how we build a product called Top Hire. Okay, so in between that, I started one more company. I closed that. So that is a different story. I just closed that because it didn't go to the directions where I wanted to go. So I closed that and Top Hire. So now I run the Top Hire, plus I'm doing consulting work as a passion. The journey. So I felt the successful lies on, one is definitely a passion. Definitely a passion is lies on, and which passion is now diminishing a little bit after 44 years of my age, the age. But passion is definitely is one of the thing. And the second thing is the team. The team, what you're getting it. Trust me that communication, nothing is matters. Delivery is matters. Outcome is matters. Okay, so any of the entrepreneurs, who are hiring the people, don't look at that. He looks very beautiful and he talks very nicely. He talks that maybe the delivery may be an issue. So look at it. In fact, in my company right now, I hired a lot of people from Amrita Institute of Technology here in Kerala, where they still holding a arrears. They're still holding a lot of arrears. They're not completed yet. But trust me, they are the best performer I ever had in my companies. Okay, so that is the one. So people is the thing, in the mantra for all of our things. So anyway, so this is my overall journey so far. Any questions or anything, please let me know. And the number, mail ID, everything is there with them. And once again, thanks for giving me an opportunity.